in 9th century, and the first mosque was in 11th century. But the 9th century to 11th century, Jinn was animist, not Muslim. It's the first mosque.
Reference to the introduction of Islam, or at least to a state that became Muslim, came in Al-Bakri, where he mentioned the king of Takrur, Warjab bin Rabis, being one of the earliest rulers who accepted Islam in that part of West Africa.
The town of Sangana is close to that of Takrur. The inhabitants worship Dakakir. Dakur is the word for an idol. Until Warjabi Rabis became their ruler, he embraced Islam, introduced among them Muslim religious law, and compelled them to observe it. That's opening their eyes to the truth. Warjabi died in the year 1040, and the people of Takrur are Muslims today.
Further along, in the Hausa kingdoms and that of Kanem-Borno, Islam was also to have an effect, and again traders were responsible. Al-Haji Maitamo Sule in Kano, northern Nigeria.
It was emphasized through trade from North Africa, because there was this trade between North Africa and the Hausa states, particularly Kano, where they used to come to the Kurmi market, the famous Kurmi market. The missionaries were the Wangarawas, the trade were the Arabs.
Though spirit worship, also known as Bori, and even the worship of the sun had been popular in many of the Hausa kingdoms before the advent of Islam, the Muslim faith took root first among the aristocracy. Today it is the predominant religion in the north of Nigeria.
When Islam came, I think it also developed a very strong intellectual tradition in West Africa. So much so that you find very interesting scholarly communities emerging at different localities.
Initially, such Islamic scholarship was reserved for an elite class, but gradually Quranic education filtered through even to the very young. A tradition in Quranic education was eventually established throughout the West African empires of Mali, Songhai, and later the Hausa and Kanem-Borno kingdoms. And in many cities in West Africa, such Islamic schools have been maintained. Hamu Mohammed Dediu is an Islamic scholar in the northern Malian city of Timbuktu. His school follows in the footsteps of the early Quranic institutions, such as the Sankore University, which thrived in Timbuktu during the reign of Mansa Musa in the 14th century.
On enseigne pour les Timbuktiens la théologie, le droit, la grammaire, la philosophie, the tradition du prophète.
I do teach several subjects here in Timbuktu, like Quranic sciences, the life of a prophet, grammar, philosophy, law. When talking about traditional school, I am talking about the tradition of a prophet, a school where we do use main books dealing with the life of a prophet and also a translation of the Quran.
By the end of their training, students in the original Islamic schools could be well versed in subjects such as mathematics, astronomy, and even medicine.
Quand on finit par exemple l'école coranique, après l'école coranique maintenant, le professeur, lequel se trouve, t'envoie chez un autre professeur.
Once the kid is done with the Quran, that he can study during 6 or 7 years, that kid is recommended to a teacher, and that teacher might be specialized either in grammar or other field. In this Quranic traditional school, the main objective is learning something and knowing it well. So they do take their time to learn really the content of a book. The main objective is not to getting a diploma, but the main objective is to get knowledge.
By the 12th and 13th centuries, such Islamic scholars and scribes played key roles in the administration of West African societies, as Dr. Ahmed Boboy explains.
Sometimes in cooperation with the local rulers who would accept Islam, bring in these scholars to serve the bureaucracy, some as scribes, some as keepers of the treasury, as we find in the various chronicles, some helping the ruler to overcome his enemies, in various ways. But they also now served as agents of either strengthening the Islam that was existing there, or to some extent looking for new territories where they could spread Islam.
Today, Islam is one of the two major religions on the African continent. And though traditional religions and practices still exist, they have been pushed to the periphery. Instead, millions still make the annual pilgrimage from African shores to Arabia in order to pay homage to Allah, thanks to the preachings of the Prophet Muhammad.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allah